question. What's up, guys? Happy New Year.
Well, that's next year.
No.
Yes.
Well, Happy New Year's Eve. This is the last episode of 2021, guys. So this is number 39 because we started doing weekly, not first of the year. We were doing monthly.
No, yeah.
Initially. So basically my goal is to try to put out 40 plus videos every year. So we're going to start next week. We start season 4, episode 1. What I'm thinking about, guys, I'm probably, when I travel, it's hard to line up people and most importantly, camera people, and somebody's always going to complain. Mike, why didn't we show the microphone we bought a few months ago, right? 2 months ago, which we've been using.
This got here yesterday, Fox.
Which we've been using. If you look at some of the videos, I had a guy say, I love your content, but you got the worst audio. I don't think we have the worst audio. It may not be the best. By the way, guys, if you're willing to finance a studio for me, I'll be happy to record there where the sound will be perfect. But anyways, we have this shotgun microphone, which we've been using for the last probably at least 6 episodes. So hopefully the sound is better. But I forgot where I was going with this. So anyways, I'm thinking, guys, when I travel, if I can line up a spot and an uke and a camera guy, I might do it. But sometimes we may just do pre-record or just not have an episode. I just don't know how to communicate to you guys to make sure that you guys, if we're not doing a live one, that we let you know. Usually we put that on Facebook and Instagram. Guys, any questions? Mike, you had some question from Instagram or somewhere. What was the question about the headlock?
Well, first, Allah said the audio is great.
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, we're done.
We dropped the mic. But it's attached to the phone. And it's got fuzz on it. I think the fuzz is supposed to be like to prevent noise, absorbs the wind and noise.
But one question that was asked as far as the KESA GATAME episode was what the person doing that headlock can do to avoid the counters that you were doing.
I don't believe it's good idea. If this is not your go-to move, for some people it's a go-to move. You try to attack. You need to get a submission, and whether it's a choke, which is not easy to pull off, or the armbar. There was one other question is like what if they do this? I believe so. What if they bring their leg up so high, then they have no base in the other direction. So, guys, anytime you try to cover or counter something, you are leaving something else available. It's usually what if this happens? Yeah, if that happens, then yeah, okay, you may not be able to do that specific move, but the guy is leaving something else open. So pay attention to that, and that's pretty much, first of all, it's available all the time when you're training, but it's a pretty big foundation of my game is I don't try to force things. If I have it, I will force it. If the guy's not cooperating, doesn't want to tap, I will make it happen. But if I don't have it, if he successfully defended it, I move on to what he's leaving open. And that could be a lot of different things, depending on the positioning, but there's always something available. Was that the question? What was the other question? Oh, so if I'm on top, so I'm not a big, I will rarely, if ever, play the headlock game. So I will make sure, so my butt is a little bit off the ground. So I don't want to have my butt on the ground because you basically, most of my weight is in the ground right now versus on him. So I want to have more weight on, yeah. And I didn't eat my breakfast yet.
You had your Christmas weight.
I will generally anchor and then I will switch if I need to. I keep switching until something opens up. I will generally prefer to do this. That's my preference. I don't want to, just sit there and hold a guy. And, generally speaking, I want to submit people. we're doing this. So, generally speaking, I'm not a fan of holding people. You know, I think it's good to develop a game where the guy on the bottom feels pressure, whether you mount it or top of side control. You want them to feel the danger, how horrible their position is. But I don't want to be there for 15 minutes just holding him. Okay? I want to get a submission. So if I get there, first of all, I don't do KESA GATAME a lot. But if I get there, I will make him feel the pressure, and as he's reacting to the pressure, I start to move. So basically, he has to move to basically escape the pressure and the possibility of a submission. He has, or if he wants to escape, he has to do one of the three things we went over in the last episode. And as he's doing that, he's opening up other things. Mount being probably the most important one. Again, I don't like that position for the reason is if you make a mistake, the guy could be on your back. So basically, as soon as I'm in that position, usually it's by accident I got there, I will try to drive my knee across the chest and start, going to mount or modified mount.
I'll say so one more time so people have a chance to send their question.
Okay. Are people celebrating already? Some parts of the world, they are. I think, wait a minute. We could say Happy New Year. No, not yet. Because there are some parts of the world, they're getting close to midnight. Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Australia, they're getting close to midnight.
Aren't they fully 24 hours?
Guys, if you're watching this, get a real life. I'm just kidding, guys. I'd rather watch jiu-jitsu than be in Times Square watching the ball drop with millions of other people that need to go take a pee and can't find a bathroom. Freezing my ass off.
So I actually just asked the question in regards to Danielle's match, sounds like.
Oh.
As this guy from Australia, he will say, how do you defend a headbutt slam?
Wait, do I have to headbutt him? Or he headbutts me? I don't like this.
Let me do this. Let me just put some pressure. So I'm going to pressure Enrique, and at some point I'm looking to start to drive my knee across to mount and attack from here. This is a way better position. So yeah, we can address Danielle's match. I think it was a good match. I think Danielle was the aggressor from the bottom. She was trying to attack. But again, when you're dealing with high-level MMA fighters, if they may not necessarily have a black belt submission game, but they have a black belt plus evasive game. They know how to thwart submission very, very well, especially, obviously in the gi becomes a little harder because of the friction, but in no gi, because that's what their specialty is. They never want to be in a position where they could either be hit or submitted, obviously. So they develop a very, very good game where they kind of try to stay on top and thwart the guy from the bottom. And obviously, if we're at MMA, you could start to hit. But to me, it was, I want to call it almost a frustration move on Carla's part. First of all, if I'm going to slam anybody, I want to start, what I want to do is, as I pick them up, I want to sort of slam them and start to separate. Okay? It sort of gives you that a little bit extra oomph at the, just about as they're hitting the so I don't want to separate. I want to kind of push them down with my hands. That creates the additional separation so you don't cut yourself. But I think Danielle was more aggressive. I believe Carla got frustrated and then slammed her badly and hurt herself. So I think net, obviously it's a win for Danielle. Also, guys, I want to point out the match was at 130 pounds. Okay, Danielle walks around 115. Not cutting down to 115. She walks around 115.
On a full stomach and wet clothes.
Yes. So just so you guys understand the dynamics also. So that's my thoughts on the match. Happy New Year. What? By the way, what time is it in Australia? You guys are got to be getting close to midnight.
Well, Kanaki Yoshi said, hello from Japan. We are officially in 2022.
Happy New Year.
He's in the future, Fox. How's 2022?
We're temporarily going into the future. Yeah.
Happy New Year's.
And right now, John Grappler said maybe a suggestion for shows while you're away. A compilation show on one subject on, for example, no-gi baseball bat chokes or...
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea because one of our regular viewers, Adolfo Ferranda, put an index together, and there is a lot of, like, say, I may cover the same topic in different ways, meaning I'm troubleshooting maybe different aspects of that topic, but a compilation, Mike, we could pull that together. Well, when I say we, I mean you could pull this together. Is that correct? Because I cannot. I just learned how to screenshot my screen.
And then James is he's saying, Fox, you've been doing jiu-jitsu for 30 years, but your ears aren't messed up. Is that a reflection of your jiu-jitsu game?
Yeah, it's extra smooth, so my ears kind of glide through the danger. So not for 30 years. I started in '93 on a regular basis, but back then I was training once or twice a week, 93, 94, 95. Only after that I started to pick it up, maybe because I was training primarily stand-up at the time. Only 96, 97, 98 I started to go maybe 2-3 times a week and so forth. However, my ears are slightly messed up. I remember a few years my mother looked at me and said, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You look like a Doberman." And I said, "Well, what?" She said, "Well, you were not born with ears like this." So I'm going to come closer to the camera. They're partially messed up, but not badly. And most of that damage did come in the early days when people didn't know how to play jiu-jitsu, so they would slap an ugly triangle, basically be locked around your skull instead of your neck. And you could escape, but it hurt your ears, and you escaped, and that's when they got more mangled. But also with ears, it's a function of genetics, I believe. There is some of my students, high-level black belts, a lot of that time, have perfect ears. And when they were purple, they're like, "Fox, I want to get my cauliflower ears. You want me to take a hammer to it?" But I'm not quite sure even if that would help. It's partially genetic, so I'm going to come a little closer. They're a little bit, but not bad at all. Although I may look like a Doberman. This one's left, so it's not. It's slightly, I would say, mid-level. But I think it's genetics. I don't think it's like the yes, it is a function of damage, but anybody that's been in jiu-jitsu for a long time will take damage to the ears. Whether you get accidentally elbowed or, you get caught in a crappy headlock, crappy triangle or arm triangle, and your ear starts to fold and you wind up escaping. It's painful, but that I believe it's genetics rather than, more so than anything. You have guys that haven't been training that long and you look at their ears like, man, you think they've been doing jiu-jitsu 50 years, but no.
Right now, everybody's saying Happy New Year. So
yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Normally I have more techniques, but this being New Year's Eve, I wanted to do a little more talking. Enrique and I are we training after this?
Hopefully.
What do you mean, hopefully?
I don't know.
I'm game. Okay. Mike, are you training or?
Wait, is Kanaki actually drunk watching these episodes?
Do we have a response what time it's in Australia? I believe Australia might be New Year's too, because I think they're 14 hours ahead.
Well, he said he's an Australian living in Mexico. He escaped the maze.
All right. I hope you're having fun in Mexico. I come in 5 weeks we have my Costa Rican camp, so I'm looking forward to going to some warm weather. And then I'm gonna, guys, I'm also looking forward, I think April, May, hopefully by then situation in Europe, COVID-wise, will stabilize. So I'm probably gonna be in Europe 4 to 6 times, hopefully next year. That's usually, I'm in Europe 4 to 6 times a year at least. And so hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. I think in Europe they're 6 hours ahead, so it's an early afternoon. So, anyways, do we have any other questions? So otherwise, I'm just going to start rolling with Enrique, and you guys could ask questions.
Yeah, I'll say do that.
All right.
Oh, wait, why? What?
Let's do this.
We didn't slap and bump. You're teaching them wrong.
Guys, I've been a leave free for 4 weeks, except for last night. Last night was bad, and I took a leave. I'm still riding the after effects.
They don't know what's a leaf.
A leave is anti-inflammatory, over the counter. Enrique will pay the will pay the consequences. We'll pay the price, unless you guys save him with questions. Guys, watch this. So this is actually very interesting. Yeah, let's go back. So you can see Enrique's playing omoplata and armbar. I tried to get my left shin perpendicular to his arm, meaning parallel to his torso, which he tried to stop. But I have to transition to omoplata quickly. Now he's trying to double back. So go ahead. Oh, you're not going to double back?
Wait.
Oh,
But you stopped. Yeah. So I have to triple back.
triple back. So I'm constantly, like, now the question is who will basically make a mistake first where I stop the threat, the constant threat. So right now I'm threatening the shoulder to some extent, but it's somewhere in between. I'd rather if I could switch to an armbar, but he's constantly switching. So when I try to attack the shoulder with the omoplata, that's not happening. So now he put himself again, the arm, in. So let's see who makes the mistake first. Oh.
No.
Somebody save Enrique, guys. Oh.
So you got a question?
Yeah.
It's from Andrew Kim. He's asking any general tips for open guard retention.
Yeah, attack. So don't just retain, attack. Yeah, let's go over that. That's a really good question. So I'm not just satisfied with retention, although retention is a very, very big point. But at some point, let's assume you have the same level of conditioning, cardio, same level of jiu-jitsu. The guy on the bottom should get tired quicker than the guy on top because he's fighting gravity on a harder level. You know, he's basically moving on the floor with friction. There's more friction when you're on the floor than when you're standing. So generally speaking, at some point, you will you will start to get more tired. And if the guy on top is heavier or has better cardio, it's going to be a rough day. So, you know, I don't just satisfy myself with retention. Obviously, that's so. So I don't retain as soon as my, so as soon as I'm in a position, I try to attack. Enrique will try to now counter, but now running away is not an option. So he gets through my guard. I try to retain, but at some point, I don't just retain, I try to attack. So as soon as I attack, yeah. Oh, wait, no heel hooks. No heel hooks. So I try to attack. So as soon as I regain, I'm not happy. And I tell you guys this all the time. You know, a lot of times people are just happy to regain guard. Regaining guard retention is very important. But you need to, as soon as you regain, go in the offensive mode immediately. Because guess what? If you don't, you're going to be, again, trying to regain it again. And then you need to go to offensive mode. And if you don't, guess what? You're going to have to recover guard again. So, long story short, when you're on the bottom, recover guard, but immediately start to go into an offensive mode. That's one of the reasons why I like split guard so much. The whole idea behind split guard is that's a very offensive guard. It allows you to immediately attack. There is no other setup. You put somebody in split guard, you immediately have 4 submissions at your disposal. The guy has to be on the run. So if you can recover guard and go transition immediately into an offensive mode, you put him on the run, at the very least, he's not passing your guard. So I still remember to this day, I was at Renzo's. There was a guy from Europe. He won Abu Dhabi World Pro at purple belt at ultra heavy. He was passing my guard. And he was probably, at the time, he was 25 years old. You know, at some point, I either need to hit him with something, or he was just moving side to side. I was getting tired. When he did come through, and as he's coming through, rather than working on the retention, at that point I slapped on an inverted triangle, and I finally put a stop to this. But the idea is, guys, you have to learn how to string transitioning. This is a very important concept. Transitioning from defense to offense seamlessly. In MMA also, it's a very, very important concept, which some people might be great at wrestling, they might be great at striking, and they might be great at submission, grappling, or jiu-jitsu, but they have a hard time putting those things together. When they're in an MMA fight, they're doing one of the 3 rather than transitioning between those 3 aspects in a seamless manner as the fight calls for. Now in jiu-jitsu, it's very important also is as soon as you squash the threat, meaning, so when guard retention means almost by definition, the guy got through your guard and you have to retain it. You have to come back or you have to recover. Or you could just keep it, which is hard. You know, like if your intent is just to keep it in the guard, it's a worthwhile drill, but the idea should not stop there. You need to sort of transition. Okay, once I retain, what do I do now? I believe in an offensive guard. I don't believe in guard retention. Because, you know, I believe that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu primarily is a martial art for self-defense. If I'm in somebody's guard, I'm going to hit him. Okay? So make sure that you know how to transition from the defensive aspect, meaning guard retention, to offensive aspect, meaning a sweep or a submission, seamlessly. So as you retain, as you're recovering, there's both, you know, satisfaction on your part, putting back in guard, and disappointment with the top guy's part, meaning that, okay, I'm back in guard. That's ideal time before you're like, oh, thank you, no, that's in those transitions, that's the ideal time to go run with it. This is your opportunity to just take whatever and run with it. By the same token, the guy on top, say if the guy on top finally breaks through the guard only to be put back in guard. If he sort of like has that moment of wilting instead of just going the other way, that might be, again, now he can pass the guard again, and this time maybe with better result because the other guy on the bottom is congratulating himself for putting the other guy on top, back in guard. So again, you know, those transitions are extremely important, especially as you get to higher levels. And we're out of time. So guys, we'll see you next Friday, January 7th, 2022. Guys, Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to spending time with you online, but more importantly, I hope to meet you, see you actually in person next year as much as I possibly can. And guys, share, like, subscribe, and
tell your friends,
tell your
family, put it on the TVs, living room TV, everywhere.
Hey guys, check this out. Instead of pictures from your vacation, plug in Roll with the Fox on the big screen TVs.
Yes. On the new one you got for Christmas.
See you guys next week, season 4.